I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we have a full crew. All 5 of us are here. And is there any board member comment or anything before we do the supervisor's report? Anybody have anything to report? Committees they were on? Anything? Nope. Very good. Take it away there, Dr. Eden.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for coming today. We're very excited to hear from the Adams Middle School students, and they're going to come up right after this report. One of the things that I try to do each meeting is show some of the highlights of some great things that have happened between the last time we met and coming together today. And so we met close to right before March break, so there's a fewer slides this time because there's only been a week and a half or so. But I want to start with Adams and highlighting their orchestra and the great work that Mrs. Isaac has done. And they had a concert on March 12th. And so we really appreciate the addition of that program and all the opportunities it's giving our kids to expand musically. It was Pi Day on March 12th. And so I could get as far as what you see there past 3.14. Different activities throughout middle school, but here's Edna Hill enjoying some pie and then doing some circumference experience as well in there. That should say Marsh Creek. I don't know what I was thinking of when I was spelling at that point, especially since the logo was right there. So I'll fix that. But the 5th graders had a wax museum, and they were focused on American trailblazers. So Wax Museum is this opportunity where students learn a character, and then other kids get to come up and interact with them, and they say a prepared speech about their character. So it's a double learning opportunity. I was able to go with a wonderful group of Edna Hill 8th graders. Cisco Systems invited 68 8th through 11th graders out from throughout California. And so we got to take a group of 9 out there, and they taught them about tech careers. They were most impressed that Cisco had a Starbucks on site where they could get free coffee if they wanted. And then the tech career was kind of the secondary thing, but it was still very cool. They had, you can see a picture there in the arcade it's the bottom picture where they talk to the kids about what it was like to show work ethic when you had freedom to come and go to the arcade if you wanted, but if you had a project due and you were in the arcade and somebody saw you, how would that look? So it was a great conversation and a great opportunity for those kids to come out there. And I want to thank Sir Jensen for helping with that and getting that set up. This was April 1st is National Paraprofessional and Instructional Aid Day, and we have some incredible paraprofessionals throughout our district. And I want to thank Lisa Gray and our principals who helped organize celebrations for them throughout the district. And so it was a great day to celebrate the positive impact that they have. I also want to thank Mayor Susanna Meyer and Carolina Villaseca for organizing a mock city council meeting for some 4th graders out at Pioneer and get them to learn a little bit more about civic engagement and how that looks. I also want to highlight for those of you that participate in the turkey trot or have in the past. So here's an example of what comes from that. So these are soccer goals that were installed out at Ron Nunn for them to utilize as a result of those turkey trot funds that are raised across the district. And I think I looked up and you have about, if you're thinking about doing it this year, you have about 231 days to get in shape. So you get a little bit of time. I want to thank the Contra Costa County Fire Protection District for coming out to Pioneer. It's always a highlight for the TK students to learn about all the emergency safety equipment and also learn about fire safety. So we appreciate their partnership. I know when we switched over from East Contra Costa Fire, one of the things that we were worried that we might lose is some of that community education and support because it's a bigger agency, but they've shown up when we've asked them, and we really appreciate it. I want to thank the Rotary Club of Brentwood and so many fifth grade teachers and principals who nominated 31 students who were celebrated at the Outstanding Good Character Awards ceremony. So there were presentations that were put on. We had the mayor spoke, the chief of police spoke, and it was just a really great day to celebrate some really outstanding students. I think one of the more impressive things is you see lots of pictures with those kids with their teachers, with their principals. So this was an event that started at 6 o'clock at night after a long day, and many of them showed up just to cheer on their kids, and that's a really special thing about Brentwood. So thank you to all of them, and congratulations to the kids. This is Moria, who's a Harvest Grove student. He's in the middle there in the orange. These are some of the great spellers throughout the county, but he's going to represent Contra Costa County at the California State Spelling Bee. And so we're really excited for him and want to wish him the best going on to the state competition. So we're proud to have the representative from here. This Saturday, this is the Garin school map. So the Liberty High School, their Interact Club came out with some Rotary members, and they're repainting some of the maps that are out there now that have faded over time. And so this was it was a fun day. And what was great was a lot of these Liberty kids were former Garin students coming back to paint on their elementary classrooms. So that was great to see. And then we got this report, and we don't talk about it a lot, but one of the things that Kristen Neeson and our food services department did a few years back is we started partnering with White Pony Express, which is an organization that comes and picks up food that we can't save, but we can't use, and rather than throw it away, they're able to donate it to different organizations that can use it right then. And last year we donated 16,718 pounds of food. And so most of it's stuff that's left over from lunch or breakfast, because we're cooking and we give students choices. And so sometimes there's leftover as a result of not everybody picking the perfect amount of things. And then also sometimes as we're going on break, before we went on March break, right, we might have had produce or milk that was going to expire within the week that we were going to be gone. And so having the opportunity to share that out with the community. So I just want to commend them on that. And that is the end of my report. And if it's okay with you, board, I'd like to turn it over to Adams Principal Lauren Griggs.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Lauren Griggs. I'm the principal at Adams Middle School, and we have a presentation for you tonight about our financial literacy class. This is something that we're really proud of at our site. Any parent of any child wants nothing but the best for their child as they grow into young adult. And part of that is financial health and financial awareness. And that's so crucial for our success as adults. And we work so hard to educate our kids as they go into the future and meet the demands. But we don't often get a chance to talk about those financial steps along the way that can help make or break your success. Mr. Brown is our financial literacy teacher, and he designed our curriculum basically because he recognized that there's a need after having conversations with students and saying like, oh my gosh, there's so much out there that kids don't know. We don't have time to talk about this. And he built a class. And so our 8th grade students take this class before they head into high school. And they're going to tell you something about it today. We've got really great kids today to talk about that. And I hope you enjoy their presentation.
Good evening. So probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I was looking for an informational article for my ELA classes to get them to outline it. And I came across this opinion article on the need for financial literacy. And I had read that for 4 or 5 years, realizing that at the time, only 4 states required it. We're up to 25, with California requiring it this next year in high school. But that really, after reading it over and over, caused me to want to sit down with Mrs. Griggs and talk about offering this as a quarter-long elective in the elective wheel, which we did last year. This year is the first time that we've offered it as a semester-long class opposite our health class, which makes perfect sense, physical health and financial health. Next slide, please. So, nope, next slide. Okay, so the course really breaks down into 9 different units that you can see up here. The Introduction to Financial Literacy is kind of financial mindset, along with some philosophy ideas to throw in there when thinking about money. We also talk about income, budgeting, spending wisely, saving, banking, credit, debit, investing, and taxes. All of those is what creates the 2-quarter long class. Next slide. This I know is impossible to read, and I kind of knew it when I put it on there. But at the beginning of every semester, I hand out a survey. And one of the things that I get from the students is, which of the following concepts can you explain? And I know you can't read what's on the bottom, but for this semester, out of 148 responses, the peak ones up there you can see are about 2/3 of the students can talk about and explain budget, salary, and loan. And down at the bottom, there are a few, but 2 stand out to me. The idea of compound and simple interest and diversification that kids cannot explain at all. And also of note is less than half of the students could talk about or explain what a credit card was. And so this just kind of continues to reinforce the idea that I think this class is really important for these students. With me today, we have Alicia, Miles, Zach, Isla, and Adosh. They're going to talk a little bit about their experience in the class and a little bit more about what we do.
Hi. Financial literacy is the ability to understand and manage personal finances. It helps you avoid debt in the future, which enables you to live a more stress-free and happy life. Mr. Brown started the quarter by expanding on what financial literacy is. We learned the more physical and philosophical side of money, explaining how not all currencies may look the same, and some may be more unconventional than others. One thing I learned is how money is like a tool, like a fork. It helps you eat, but you can't eat a fork to sustain life. It is only merely a device to help you survive. Mr. Brown helped our class understand the differences between needs and wants, giving us insight on how to make smart financial decisions. His basic rule being never go into debt buying a want.
Hi. Have you ever spent too much and regretted it? I know I have, but financial literacy has helped me think about things like what I'm purchasing, comparing prices, and even looking at unit prices when grocery shopping. During our Spending Wisely unit, we were assigned the challenge to shop for a hoodie with features under a certain amount of money. We even compared on other sites and looked at shipping costs. This assignment helped me with my own shopping by making me think, can I get this somewhere else cheaper? Or let me think about it before buying. This specific assignment in this unit helped me think about buying a hoodie of my own, actually. I used what I learned and found the same hoodie for cheaper and cheaper shipping. I find not only the unit, but the entire class very useful in just everyday life. If I didn't have the chance to take financial literacy, I would still be overpaying for things, and maybe I wouldn't even know how to do my taxes. The Spending Wisely unit in classes opened my mind to things I didn't even consider before buying. I would recommend this class to future students in a heartbeat because of how helpful it is in the real world.
If I were to ask you right now, would you say you knew where a majority of your taxes went? For most of you, it would probably not be the case. That's why this taxes unit in Mr. Brown's financial literacy class has been so important. On the first day of the class, Mr. Brown allows us to take a walk on campus, and he points out and shows us all the things that the taxpayer money pays for, like textbooks, buildings, and the teacher salaries. This allowed us to finally understand where taxes go and why they're important and not just something that takes your money. Later on into the unit, we play a game. And this game has been able to show how your taxes can actually benefit your community and the others around you. In the game, you're able to spend your money tokens, essentially, to help contribute and benefit other players. And overall, if enough people succeed, everyone can win. This unit allows people to finally and fully understand why they're spending taxes and how they're able to use them to benefit their community.
During the budgeting unit in financial literacy, we learned what a budget is, how to build one, and the importance of it. I learned that a budget is a plan for how you use your money and that there are 4 parts to it: your income, expenses, savings, and investments. Mr. Brown told us that one of the things you need to know in order to build a budget are your fixed expenses, the ones that don't change from month to month, and your variable expenses, the one that vary depending on choice. He also said that you should have an emergency fund and make sure to not overspend on wants in order for the budget to actually be beneficial. I think that this class is super helpful because us 8th graders get some sort of preview on what it's like to deal with money in the real world, while the majority of middle schoolers don't get this kind of knowledge and opportunity. This lesson was especially helpful for me because I can take this information and apply it to the future sometime like during college or after that, obviously. Lastly, Mr. Brown is the best teacher and is the GOAT.
In the income unit in financial literacy, Mr. Brown taught us a lot of stuff. Like, for example, income is the money that a person earns from working, but managing that income is very important. One key idea of managing your income is delayed gratification, which means choosing what you want most in the future over what you want right now. For example, instead of buying many small things, it's better to save money for something more important. The brain plays a huge role in this. The limbic system in your brain reacts quickly to emotions and impulses, while the prefrontal cortex helps with decision making, reasoning, and self-control. Strengthening your self-control helps people make smarter financial choices. To avoid spending impulsively, several strategies can help. One method is a 24-hour rule, which means waiting at least a day before buying something. This gives time to decide if the purchase is really necessary for you. Another strategy is making a shopping list and only buying what's on your list. Setting financial goals and saving money for your goals is also very important. Sometimes it helps to leave the store or the app to give yourself time to think if the purchase is really necessary. And also asking questions if do I still want this, or will I still want this in a week, can also prevent unnecessary spending. Budgeting is also another important part of managing your income. People should prioritize their needs over their wants, have an emergency fund, and create margin in their budget so they're prepared for unexpected expenses. Budgets are flexible and can be adjusted when incomes or expenses change. Even small adjustments can solve bigger financial problems. And remembering that many things people want are not actually necessary can help them use their income more responsibly. And I really love the opportunity to be in this class because it really helps you learn how to manage your money, and it just overall helps you be more wise about spending and saving.
Dr. Eaton, board, everyone here, we really appreciate the opportunity to share with what we're doing at Adams. To be honest with you, this class exists because of Mrs. Griggs' vision about what we can do in our community, and a little bit about my passion on the things that are important for me. I love language arts to prepare kids for high school, but there's nothing better than this class to prepare them for life. And that's why I'm excited to continue to do this. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
So I have some certificates for you guys.
While he's doing the certificates, I just want to say, for all the taxpayers out there, this is tax money well spent right here. So very good job. Nice presentation, guys.
Mr. Griggs, I just have one more question to attack here. How much you're going to tip me?
Yeah, we'll get you them tomorrow. We'll get you them to the school site tomorrow. Keep running on the mouth. I see a typo on it. That's my fault. We'll get you guys updated ones. I know. We're still gonna get a picture with them. We're still gonna get a picture with them. Right. You guys updated ones.
Now I want to know what's the typo.
Why do you have to put me out in front of everybody?
Wrong school. Okay. That was my first guess.
Okay, so Mr. Brown, tomorrow, I'll make sure you guys have a good lunch. And you guys want to take a photo?
You guys come on over here.
Yeah. And we'll put this up, and parents, if you want to come up and take that picture too, that's just fine.
There we go.
Parents can ask them to come up.
Would you like to see the photo or take the photo?
We're gonna put it into a little bit more. All right. So we're gonna smile 1, 2, 3, and then now parents can get it.
That's great. Good job.
Parent pictures? All right.
All right. I now have something new to say when I go to Costco. I can say my limbic system is impacting me as I walk the aisles of Costco. Yeah. Thank you. All right. We have one more thing before we transition to the rest part of the meeting is that we have a 30th birthday. And so.
I know.
Yeah.
It's okay. I don't
So
look a
come on
day
up.
over.
Anna Perales.
Hi, everyone. I don't really know where to stand here.
Sit in front of the table over here.
Hello, everyone. I feel like full circle here. All right, so you're great. So hi, board and council, and I would like to invite all of you to our 30th anniversary to celebrate our birthday. So our 30th anniversary open house extravaganza, which is April 16th. And so in case you were going, well, I can't go unless I know what to wear. We actually wanted to present you this evening with some of our 30th anniversary shirts, as well as invitations. But I'm joined this evening by my parents club, some of my parents club board members. I have Miss Michelle West. Yay, Michelle. Miss Reagan Franklin. And Tiffany Couchman. And so our parents club wanted to make sure that you guys all had appropriate attire. Again, you can wear whatever you'd like. If you don't want to wear the shirts, you don't have to. But we would love for you to have our 30th anniversary shirts because it's a really big deal to us and we're very excited to be 30. And thank you, Dr. Thornhill, for starting us off as our first principal. I'm happy 3.5 years in to be carrying that torch. And, again, we invite you to our anniversary. And here's your shirts.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Oh. I hope it's an extra medium.
Bristol colored.
Yeah, look at that.
Wow.
Thank you. Same size. It is an extra medium.
Actually, it's smaller. I was a little chubby in those days.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to seeing you on the 16th.
And please don't be insulted. I have a habit when I get T-shirts that I cut them to show off my abs. So if you see it, you'll be able to make out my abs. And,
Okay.
with that being said,
Yeah, let us know what time you're going. I'll go later.
okay, at this point, I take a motion to open up public comment.
Move that we open public comment. Wow, these are loud.
We have a first and second. All in favor?
Hi.
Perfect. Remarks are limited to 3 minutes per person. We encourage your comments. Unfortunately, state law prevents us from discussing items that are not on the meeting agenda. Public comments can be made at this time or during the appropriate agenda item. We take them very seriously, and if appropriate, staff will follow up. Public comments can be submitted via email to Nicole Clevin, and her email address is on the website. Any public comments received up until 5 p.m. on the day of the meeting will be distributed to the board via email, posted online for public inspection within 1 day of the meeting. That being said, my first and only speaker is Connie Torres.
Oops. All right.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Eaton. My name is Connie Torres, and I am the proud president of the Brentwood Teachers Association. To attract and retain the best educators, we must first decide what we truly value. And in a school district, our values are not found in words, they are found in written numbers. In Brentwood, there has been a pattern. We are told there isn't enough. Not enough to invest, not enough to prioritize, and yet somehow the money appears. For years, we have asked to be seen differently, not just as a step in column, but as a line in your budget that reflects intention, commitment, and respect. I came to this district 24 years ago, a young bilingual teacher full of hope. This is the only district I have ever served. I built my career here, I built my life here. But today, it feels different. Ask educators about morale, and you will hear the same quiet truth. We are tired, we are stretched thin, we are giving everything, and still feeling like it is not enough. We understand the state budget, but we also understand our own lives. The rising cost of healthcare, the weight of expectations, the reality that passion alone does not pay the bills. And so we stand at a crossroads. You have difficult decisions to make. When we ask you to remember this, don't tell us about your values, show us your budget. Because a budget is more than numbers. It is a story. It tells us who matters. It reveals what is possible. It defines the future you are choosing. Right now, the story we hear is about cuts, but there are other stories to tell of opportunity, of grants, of creativity, of advocacy, of investment in the people who show up every single day for students. Because when educators are supported, students thrive. So write a different story, one where we are not an afterthought, but a priority. And understand this, we will advocate, we will organize, we will rally, we will be loud, and we will not be quiet. Not just in words, but in action. Thank you.
I don't have any more slips, but does anybody else?
Move that we close public comment.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Moving along to consent items. Does anybody need anything pulled or discussed? With that being said, I'll take a motion to approve consent items 8.0 all the way to 8.14. Anybody?
Move that we approve consent items 8.0 to 8.14.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Thank you. Hearings and appeals, there was none. Report out of closed session. And we're going to jump down to 10.1, expulsion of student 03-2026-10. I'll take a motion to take a vote on the expulsion of the student that we discussed.
I move that we support the recommended stipulation for expulsion of student number 03-26-10.
Take a second. That was you? Say? Okay. We have all those in favor of expulsion of student 03-2026-10.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. 10.2, which is the food service update.
Our director of food services, our coordinator of food services, Kristen Neeson, is going to present their program update for this year.
All right, thank you, board. I'm really proud today to give you an update about what our department has been working on all of this year. So School Meals for All continues. We're nourishing students and supporting learning. So the California Universal Meals continues, continue to be in the budget, the state budget for next year as well. Every student continues to receive one free nutritious and delicious breakfast and lunch daily that we believe helps support them stay focused and ready to learn in their school day. So our meal participation continues to increase slightly and stabilize overall, really since the 23-24 school year. We still serve about over 10,000 meals every school day between our lunches and our breakfasts. So we've grown quite a bit since COVID. We now have 85 people in our food service operation, 6 of us here at the office and the warehouse. So thank you for your support on allowing us to grow as a support team for our growing teams out in the kitchens. We've been implementing some further training of leadership and adapting to change and things like that. So you see here in this picture, we have a great, we work with a trainer named Jeff Joyner Training that goes to lots of school districts throughout the country and primarily speaks with nutrition professionals. And it's been really impactful for myself as well as all of our managers and our team and really growing our leadership skills. So our goals continue to be consistent with this school year for next school year, continuing to increase our scratch cooking from 50% further to 60%. This continues to be in excess of the requirements for a grant that we got from California for the freshly prepared meals that required 40%. So just things like next year, we're gonna only offer the scratch made granola that we make now, scratch ranch, croutons made from scratch. We've also had a recipe development project this year, and we'll be implementing some of those. So for an example, like an egg scramble from scratch, and then actually pancakes that we'll make 100% from scratch, which is really exciting. And the kids have all tested those, not all of them, but many of the kids have tested those and have approved. We'll continue to increase our culinary and operational training programs. We continue to work with Jeff Joyner Training for leadership and operational compliance. Also Brigade, they are a culinary consultant that works with our teams and also our culinary supervisor. The Chef Ann Foundation, we actually have one of our employees, Esther Lee. She's our nutrition program specialist. She's in their fellowship program, which is going to bring lots of great opportunities for our program. And then also the Culinary Institute of America, the Institute of Child Nutrition, and we also work with a lot of our equipment partners just to better utilize our equipment. We continue to work with a lot of farms locally and support our local economy and celebrate the different holidays. This is actually a picture of one of our staff members, Vanessa, at Brentwood Elementary, and her daughter that attends there. So it's fun that a lot of our staff get to work where their kids go to. Just some of the facility improvements we've done this school year. Soon to be Bristow Satellite Kitchen will be opening there this spring, which will be super exciting to have more options and better serve all the kids there.
We've replaced some flooring, outdated flooring that's just chipped and a hazard. We've updated some electrical work at a couple of our schools and installed a new combi oven over at Pioneer Elementary. It's just a really state-of-the-art piece of equipment that really helps us make better quality foods. So this was our second annual recipe collaboration project that included our cooks, culinary supervisor, our brigade chef that we works with us, and our nutrition program specialist. So they were able to select a current recipe we already have and then improve it. So say like our pre-made pancakes, we took that and then now we're and developed a scratch pancake recipe. So this year we added doing focus groups at each of the schools. So that's actually my son there in the focus group at Loma Vista. And they were able to sit down, really try it, give feedback. And then the second day we made much more of it and did a taste testing with about 400 to 500 students on a smaller taste. And that's actually one of our staff members' grandson at Loma Vista. So these are the different recipes that our cooks at our different schools work together to create. And they were all really successful with the kids, and they'll be making it onto the 26-27 menu rotation. So these are just some partnerships we have with local companies. The newest one here was Naname Organics. They're an apple small family farm and operated in Sebastopol. They have organic apples that we got, and we actually did our Taste and Learn event with them. So we had 270 teachers sign up, reaching over 7,700 students. Where we provided apples to do a tasting in the classroom. We also provided, which I'll pass out in a bit, a digital magazine just focused or highlighting some of our local farms and different products. And then Farmer Paul, his daughter, and his grandson came out to Brentwood Elementary and visited 14 classes and just really shared with the students the process of growing apples and answered any questions. And then we also we continue to work with Simone and Masoni Farms out in Byron. And the kids helped us shuck some corn and we cooked it for them. So just a quick update on compliance. Like Dr. Eaton mentioned before, we continue to work with White Pony Food Rescue. And not only is that great to divert the food instead of throwing it away, it is a law. And we have successfully removed the majority of our artificial food dyes, which is required at the end of 2027, but we're getting a head start on that. And then the Real Food Healthy Kids Act to reduce ultra-processed foods in school nutrition. That'll be forthcoming with more information. So then we're going to listen to a video. I want to give credit to Esther Lee. She's our nutrition program specialist, and she put this together for us. It's just highlighting the impact of our program at one of the schools.
So much of transformation that's happening each day is more delicious than never. So kids, they love to tell me about all the food that they share each day. We're so thankful for our cafeteria, our staff, and all of the services.
cafeteria is such a wonderful place to be and to enjoy all the fresh food meals.
A little behind.
And having instead of packaged items, we have before we have fresh fruit salads, we need to enjoy the taquitos and the bean dip, and the pasta with fresh marinara sauce, and the house-made beef chili. Cafeteria is a wonderful place to be, and we all enjoy it so much.
We have real homemade food that the kids are loving. This is real food with real taste.
About lunch every day. Almost every student gets a school lunch because they really like the ingredients that our cafeteria makes them from scratch. So they're all stuff that are natural, and it's a win-win situation for students.
Because it's really good and it's really nice having good food here. I like the cafeteria food, and obviously since I'm a kid, I love cafeteria food more this year last year because it's like having very good flavors. They make it very fresh
And that's the presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and great job as usual.
Absolutely, fabulous job. I like how the dub was off there on the videos. It reminds me of all the Norwegian cop shows I watch on Netflix. So voices never line up.
Ten 10.3 is board, that was an information item. 10.3 is board policy goal update.
Hello, board. We're here to give you an update on the culture and climate goal and also the providing an environment where everyone belongs. So all three of us have a part. You can go to the next slide. Okay, so we're going to do the yellow goal and then the purple goal. So for promoting culture that supports learning, you can go to the next slide. Kirsten and I came in December and we did a really detailed description of kind of follow up on all of these action steps. And so we're continuing all of the work that we're doing. So in this presentation this evening, Kirsten's going to give you an update on counselors and social emotional programming. And then Michael's going to share more about the professional learning and the tiered levels of support. Most significantly, moving the TSA position from student services over to CNI. Danielle Cotton has been able to provide training to, I think, 10 of 11 sites. Michael will share more about that. But she was able to come to one of our curriculum councils, which is where the VPs and the principals come. And she was able to share the work that she can do for tiered levels of support and on-site PD and really promote herself to go out and support teachers and sites. And there's been an increase since she's done that and them accessing her. And she's just been invaluable, and it's kind of shifted the game on providing those supports. And we'll continue working on all of these areas. In terms of engaging students, we're offering our event in May, our All Abilities event, and then sites continue to offer parent training. So there's one at Harvest Grove on empowering families. And then just tomorrow night, tonight is Wednesday, Thursday night, Brentwood is going to be hosting a parent training on executive functioning for students with ADHD, like parent supports for that. So sites are continuing to provide parent trainings up until the end of the school year.
Okay, one area to just to update you on, we have our suspension data. Unfortunately, when I made the slide, I didn't realize that the top of it didn't have the dates, the years on them. So on the left is 2024 and the right is 2025. But we did not make the progress we had hoped to, so we would like the number to go down. And so we suspended 3.2%, last year. This year, we increased that to 3.5%. So that was not our goal. The numbers of suspensions is the percentages if a student is suspended one time per year. So that is what they categorize that. So that goal was not met, unfortunately, and we are doing many things in our district to reduce that number. But we are being very realistic when we do suspend. We are not, we really try as many things as we can with other means of correction first. So that's the LCAP goal that we are trying to measure our success. Our goal was really lofty. It was to reduce it from 3.2 to 2%. We did not meet that. We instead increased our rate by 0.2% to 3.5%. So what we will be doing is this next year, we will be having a more realistic goal of trying to reduce it by 0.3%. So this is something to talk about our counselors, which we're very proud of all the hard work that they're doing. They really are that real heartbeat of our schools. And they're consistently using our social emotional programs. They're providing those groups for our students. They're also meeting with kids one-on-one, meeting them where they're at, providing support in the classrooms, talking about bullying and those problem-solving skills, communication. These pictures right here, that's Camilla at IME, and then Patty is one of the ones in that dress there. So they really get involved in every aspect of their school and community. And then what the wellness rooms and the mindfulness rooms are really important. And then some data that we have updated here. This is just from July to April. And there's 69,000 just that we have documented touch points that they have in our schools. That is so many times that they have helped support families. So really important supports that we have. So we're so grateful that we were able to keep our counselors, because all those times that they have helped to support a family or a student, really, really critical supports for our schools.
For our next steps, just as the thought that we put in at the strategic action planning and some ideas for next year is continue to provide. We kind of want to shift the behaviors that lead to suspensions. Kind of shift that language more to provide collaboration and support with other means of correction to improve behavior. So really thinking outside the box, maybe changing the way we're responding. Continue with the restorative practices and expand that. We find that to be super useful. And there's still sites that need that training. Continue with the social emotional programming at all the sites. And then more of a shift towards the direct teaching of Tier 1 and Tier 2. And that's where we relates to Danielle Cotton going to the sites and providing specific trainings on Tier 1 and Tier 2 supports. And then we're just going to continue. The bottom two is prioritizing opportunities for parents to participate in site level activities and prioritize opportunities for children to participate in their own learning and site level activities.
All right. So as Justine mentioned, I'm excited to join these two fabulous directors in the work around belonging and inclusion. And so, yeah, go ahead. So the areas that we've been focused on here is really that district level culture and climate committee that supports each of the sites. And then some of the things that they've done is that they've met quarterly. They've been focused on restorative practices at PBIS and really looking at data. And as Justine mentioned, this is really the work that Danielle Cotton's been doing and is now part of my department. And then Justine mentioned that we've been doing a lot of professional development. She's been doing a lot of professional development, I should say, and really focused on, so that first bullet is around work that she's done with our new teacher program and our induction, our teachers in induction. And then we have been working with, at this point, 10 of the 12 sites on a range of things, and you can see some of those listed there. I would say that one of the things that's been really great about Danielle's work is it's been really focused on data and really focused on site needs. So one site may say they need some more training on restorative practices, and another site may say we need some focus on racist and harmful language, and that's been really tailored for their needs. I have 10 to 12 sites because it doesn't include Harvest Grove for this. And then she's been really building up a set of resources in Canvas. You can see some of those areas. That Canvas link is an internal link, but I included the tool that she uses to build that in Canvas so you can take a look. And then our next steps really are to continue a lot of that work. So continue the site level culture and climate committees, continue that focus on what sites need. And then this third bullet is really the work that Justine has been doing with Lisa Gray around working with our classified special education staff. And of course, we are continuing our work to diversify our staff and to implement some tools. Frontline Central just went out from Carrie's department about a week ago or so. So we're in some early stages of that, which is great. That's all we have.
Are you guys taking questions?
Yeah, sure.
Do you mind? I have two just real quick. I know you said the data on the suspensions was 24 and 25. Is that a calendar year metric? So it ends in January?
It ends at the same time as our dashboard for when we do the CASP.
Gotcha. So that's the end of what, October or something like that?
It still functions on a school year. It's just when they report it.
Okay.
So that would be the 24-25 school year and the 20.
So by the end of this year, we could be better?
Yes.
Maybe. All right. We hope so. Okay. And then my other question, and I don't know if I'm reading this wrong, on the counseling service by the numbers, parent guardian contacts at different sites. Can you explain why they're so vastly different when we have one as low as 12 and one as high as 6,600?
I don't think everybody puts those in.
Okay.
I think some will absolutely put them in every time, and some will not always put them in.
Gotcha.
I think it's just not necessarily their priority when they're working with kids.
Would you say that the larger number is probably more average?
Probably. I
Okay,
think if
so
we all
so
put
it's
it
a
in.
lot of contact. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes. Anything else?
If there's no other questions, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys very much.
Moving, that was also information. Moving along to 10.4, CLC Teamsters Initial Sunshine Proposal.
Yes, so good evening, board. As you all are aware, Government Code 3547 requires that all initial proposals of exclusive representative groups and of public school employees, which relate to matters concerning scope of representation, negotiations, need to be presented at a public meeting. This is an information item, but it is in preparation for future negotiations in accordance with Government Code Section 3547. And what you have in the packet tonight is Classified Liaison Committee, CLC, and Teamsters Local 856 publicly presenting their initial proposal to the Brentwood Union School District for the 26-27 negotiation cycle.
Any questions? Again, information. This is 10.5 was an action item. Approval of CDE-J-13 waiver request for attendance due to emergency conditions.
Yes, I can speak to that. So on March 10th of 2026 this year, Guerin Elementary had a power outage. And so a certain material decrease of students came to school. And so our average daily attendance was significantly lower. And the California Department of Education has this J13 waiver form, which is what you just said. It's sort of an allowance for a change in attendance and how. So what it does, if you file this waiver, we don't incur a fiscal penalty for our average daily attendance for that day. So there's these forms we fill out, the board approves, and then actually it goes to the county for approval and the state for approval. And it's the formal process they have for these types of things.
Thank you, Diane. I move that we approve item 10.5, the CDE J13 waiver request for attendance due to emergency conditions.
Second, please.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Waiver request for attendance has been approved. 10.6 is the first reading of board policy.
Yes, board, this is a required policy, and it's artificial intelligence, and it's the start of what I'm sure will be a lot of policies that will come around artificial intelligence, but it's meant to be foundational as we look to what this brings in the school district. This is for information only, but it'll come back to you next time for action.
Thank you. Any member comment or anybody requesting something they put on next month's agenda?
It seems a little, it's a difficult thing to try to get your arms around because it's going to be what the content of, I mean, this is a lot of stuff is going to be involved in this. Everything from understanding how the law will fit in this and also how we're going to like express this and communicate all this to people. It'll be a big project.
It's going to be challenging. Right now, we have a group of teachers and staff that are meeting regularly as a work group to try to get ahead a little bit, but I think it's probably something that we will always struggle to get ahead of. But it's important that we take these first few steps.
That being said, the meeting is adjourned. And our next meeting will be held May 13th, 2026. Closed session is at 6 p.m. as usual. Thank you very much.
All right.
Nick, I don't really worry about the AI stuff because the AI will tell us